everybody. So we're the Hallmarkies podcast, and I'm Rachel, and we are here to talk about some of our favorite Hallmark movies, and Amber's here with me.
Hello, everybody.
And yeah, so we had no Hallmark movies this weekend, and none to really talk about. So yeah, we had to just talk about something we like.
Yeah, okay, it was the worst, right, Rachel? How mad were you? I mean, I know it was also kind of nice for us to, have a break where we didn't have to panic watch things, but it somehow made my life way more complicated.
Yeah.
And my friends wanted to hang out with me, and I couldn't say, no, sorry, I have to live tweet. So I could hang out with my friends. It was a big disaster. Whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for me because I was super sick, and I'm still got a little bit hanging on, but it was probably just as well that I was forced to rest, but I would have also probably enjoyed it. It would have been a pep in my step, but yeah, I was pretty sick this weekend, so but we got to watch these 4 movies, so at least we had that, and we picked movies that the other person hadn't seen. Yes. So that was kind of our strategy. And that's hard, especially with you, because you've seen every Hallmark movie.
I know. And also try to pick a TV show I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's right. So we're just going to go through these pretty quick. And a lot of these you can find. They're if you just look online and on different places, you can find them and watch them, whether it's Hallmark Movies Now or on DVD or other places. Just look and you can find them. So
yeah, you guys, I was way nicer than Rachel because I made sure my choices were on Hallmark Movies Now, and Rachel made me pick some weird movies that are not on Hallmark Movies Now or on any streaming service that I could find that was just pay to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I ended up going to some weird website, and I saw some inappropriate things in a pop-up. I was scarred for life.
Oh no.
So just be careful, you Hallmarkies, watching Rachel movies. I eventually just found a copy on YouTube, so YouTube is safe.
Okay. Watch with caution. That's true. That's generally a good rule for online. Oh, well, let's talk about one of mine first. Let's talk about 3 Weeks, 3 Kids. This is one that you hadn't seen of some of my favorites. And this was made in 2011. And it stars Anna Chlumsky and Warren Christie, and our pal Jesse Hutch is in it. And it sort of tells 2 stories. It's about this single girl who is, kind of married to her job. She ends up kind of getting sort of tricked into watching her sister's 3 kids for 3 weeks. Why her sister, and that's the second half of the movie, is that her sister and her husband go on this honeymoon to Paris. And so I guess what I really like about it is that it's something a little bit different. It's somebody who's kind of exploring her maternal side, because she didn't feel like she really had any. And it turns out she's actually good at certain stuff with these kids, and some stuff she's not as good, and she's learning. And I like that. And also, I like this dynamic between her sister and her sister's husband, that you typically don't see people working on their marriage in a Hallmark movie. And I thought it was kind of cool that, she's just so absorbed with her children that she's sort of forgotten her marriage. And so through the course of this trip, that she's able to kind of work on that. And so to me, it's just something a little bit different. It has some funny moments that we talked about with Jesse, about a moment where Anna dumps a thing of water all over him and dumps him, which is pretty funny. And the romance is really pretty, on her part with Warren Christie, is pretty subdued. It's pretty not in there that much. Mm-hmm. So anyway, what did you think of it?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun show. I think you mentioned this when we were reviewing at Christmas time, Christmas Next Door. It's very similar in, conceit and execution, I'd say. Yeah. Although, like you said, there's not super a lot about her relationship with Warren Christie. that much, really. Kind of to the point where they like made out at the end, and I guess that's how people do it. I don't know. I mean, I like never really kissed a boy. Don't tell our audience. But like, I was like, whoa, is that how it's done? Anyway.
Yeah, all of these movies, you can tell they were all four were all made in sort of a slightly different era. I feel like in Hallmark movies, they all are a little more mature than I think what we typically see in the last like 2 years.
Yeah. You texted me and you said, oh my goodness, this is so funny. All four of our movies involve making family. And I was, first of all, thrilled that that's caught on. So audience beware when people they're making family. And also, it's just funny because I didn't even like think that would be in them because Hallmark doesn't allow that content anymore.
Yeah. All of them are rated G, which is tough to do for live action. You have to be pretty, pretty squeaky clean for to get G. And that I feel like that's pretty new, and that's fine with me. But I also don't mind like in a more, because like in this one, it's a married couple that's exploring their relationship, and I don't know, what did you think about that part of it? Did you like that part? Or
yeah, it was interesting to see that, but I don't know, why didn't they just go on dates before? I don't understand, but I'm glad that it worked out for them. I wasn't super interested in it, but yay, I'm glad their marriage is more exciting.
I mean, I'm obviously not married, and so I can't speak to it, but I feel like I've heard of a similar sort of thing happening from people I know that are married with little kids, that you just get so engrossed in the kids that you forget your relationship a little bit, and that you kind of sometimes need a kick in the pants to remember, like, that's the foundation of a marriage, like, is the marriage, not the kids. And so I liked that, and I felt like what happens with her as far as being this single woman thrust into taking care of these kids is what I wanted to happen in Switched for Christmas, with the but because everybody knew, and it just there wasn't anything funny, or she didn't, and so I think, I don't know, I felt like that was more successfully executed here as far as this fish out of water. And it's something I really relate to because my mom had babies when I was in high school, and she had one when I was 11, one when I was 16, and one when I was 18. And you would think that would make me like super great with kids, but like it actually it made me feel like I wasn't a very like maternal person, because I had this sort of almost animosity a little bit, like, whereas other girls would like see a baby and they'd be like, "Ooh, how beautiful, how cute." I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, so much work," like, "Oh, you're a terror," I would have, because anyway. And so like, I kind of related in a way to like having to sort of learn to embrace that side of you, and realize, oh, I actually am good at this, or I actually can do this. And that was something I could relate to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that I am maternal because I care about people, but I'm pretty sure that I'm mostly just super bossy. And so, like, I love taking care of, like, little kids that know how to, like, go to the bathroom. So if I was in that situation, like, those kids would be so excited when their mom got home because I am bossy.
So how would you have handled the whole bully situation?
We would have. Oh, there would have been words.
Yeah. So did you think that the even though you had it spoiled, the water scene, was that funny at all, or it was
So when you guys were talking about it on our interview with Jesse Hutch, I was picturing like a pitcher of water with a lemon in it, so like a whole pitcher.
Oh, okay.
And I was picturing for some reason that the teenage niece was the one who threw it at him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So the whole situation was just,
That's really
it actually
funny.
caught me completely off guard because in my mind I was picturing it in this whole other setting. So it was actually, it still played really, it was still really funny.
Yeah. And I guess what I like about this is I don't know, it's just something a little bit different from Hallmark. I don't know if I just feel like I'm tired of kind of the people getting locked in the same booking the same cabin or the save the farm story we've seen a million times. This is something a little different. I can watch and enjoy it. And how many crowns would you give this one?
So I would probably give this one like just 3 crowns. It was just fine for me.
Okay.
I didn't super love it. I wasn't super into any of the kids' stories, and I mean that takes up a third of the movie. I was just like, don't be bullied. It's not helpful. I don't really have any situation of dealing with bullies because I'm just so bossy. So like, if somebody was like, give me your lunch, I'd be like, how about you eat your own lunch, dude? And then it just wouldn't happen. Like, I'm just impenetrable to bullying, so I don't know.
There you go. Okay. I don't know. I'd give this a pretty high grade. I really like it. I give it like a, I don't know, 4.25.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel, it's your pick. Of course you like it.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to pick one you don't like.
Right.
You goof.
Okay, so let's talk about Loving Leah. So this is one of your picks. And so this was a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of pretty big names in it. And it was directed by Jeff Bleckner and written by Nana Goldstein. And I don't really know anything that they've done other than this, and I love it. I love this movie. It's quite different than, almost any Hallmark movie, because, I mean, first off, they are Jewish, which is pretty much in a world dominated by Christmas movies. You don't get too many Jewish people.
Yes.
But it's also follows my favorite plot conceit situation, which is where people get married and then fall in love. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. So basically the basic concept is Jake has a brother named Ben who is very Orthodox, and Jake is quite reformed to say he's pretty much not even Jewish anymore. And Ben, his brother, is a rabbi, and he is married to Leah, and Ben dies unexpectedly. And there is this Hebrew custom, which I can't remember, the Halitza?
It's something like that.
Something. Someone knows. Yeah, Halitza. Where there is a requirement that in order for her to not be shamed or something, he has to either marry her so he can keep his brother's name going, or like reject her so they can whatever. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but it yada yada yada, instead of going through the ceremony where they are not going to get married, they just end up getting married. It causes all this confusion and drama, but I really like it. The songs in it are actually pretty fun. Like, there's actual real songs in it, not just some random free songs. I don't know. I really love it. The montage to Michael Bublé's Everything is just so adorable. And it's just interesting that they are able to like find themselves together. So I don't know. Rachel?
Yeah. So this was made in 2009, and it is really cute. It's a very sweet little movie, and it has Lauren Ambrose in it and as Leah, and she starts out kind of mousy, quiet, but you see that she is frustrated with her mother, who is I think it's her mom is Mercedes Rule, and his mom is Susie Essman. I might be getting those confused. But anyway, those are the moms. and they're great. And her mom, wants her basically to get married again right away. And it doesn't seem like she's mourning all that much for her husband. At first I was like, wow, she didn't love him at all. But I think she did by the time you kind of see that she at least had a kind of love for him. And so she ends up marrying him more almost to get out of her mother's house than anything else. She's just so tired. She wants to go to school, to the college. And yeah, it was really cute. There's a whole scene where he teaches her how to swim, which I love to swim. And so those are really always cute scenes. And yeah, it did feel like their chemistry grew in a pretty realistic way.
His girlfriend that he was dating when he ends up marrying Leia, all of her reactions seem pretty reasonable because they've been talking about getting married, and then suddenly he's married to this lady, and she calls it off, and
yeah,
you can see that it's a tough situation for her. But I am actually so proud of her for just saying, you know what, you're married, bye. Which it's a good move.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably going to sound super weird, but I've always been super interested in the Jewish faith and, like Yiddish, even like all of the things. I just have always been super interested in that. So I think that's what initially spoke to me about this movie to get me to even watch it, is because I was like,
Yeah.
And I mean, you have to admit, it is, like you said, quite different from the usual Hallmark fare, and I just really love it. How many crowns did you give it, Rachel?
I think I'd give this one also 4.25.
All right, I give this one 4.5 crowns.
Yeah, it's really good.
Obviously, I like it. I picked it.
Okay, so let's talk about my next pick. So I picked Love is a Four-Letter Word, and this is an old one from 2007. Terry Polo, Robert Milhouse, and they play these lawyers who are divorced lawyers, and they're both kind of sworn off of love, but they meet at a wedding, and at the beginning of a wedding of their mutual friends, and they have this like really great spark, but they don't realize that they're coming up against each other in the court, and they're both representing one side of a divorce proceedings. That is Barry Bostwick and Donna Mills. And basically like the divorce that they're dealing with is, she basically has just like gotten sick of him because he retired. But there's still like a spark there between them. And so the movie is just basically like them trying to kind of, these two relationships kind of going back and forth and working it out. And I admit it had been a while since I'd seen it. It's definitely not, it wouldn't be a typical Hallmark movie today. They make some family. But I don't know. I really enjoy it. I think it's funny, and I like both these couples. And so I like Terry Polo. And I don't know, I like how they're both kind of confident about who they are and kind of person they are, and they seem like a genuinely like a good match to me. And anyway, what do you think?
It was fine, honestly. I feel like the tertiary plot of her sister and his friend's marriage, like having troubles, and me expecting them to actually get divorced when her sister comes back and was like, it's over. I don't know. That detracted me a little bit from the like enjoying the movie. It just felt like too much to try to make that be, to have them have a conflict as well. Just let them be newlyweds. It's only been 2 weeks. Let them have a relationship.
Yeah. I guess that's such a small part of the movie, though, to me at least.
It was too much for me. I mean, he spends like the last third of the movie just hanging out with his buddies at his house, being like, oh, should marriage happen? I don't know. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I just felt like a lot of the people were being irrationally stupid.
I thought it was funny. I liked their sort of romantic comedy kind of banter back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah, the between the two of them was really good. But just I felt like the secondary characters didn't make sense to me. But the two leads, Terry Polo and Robert Mailhouse, did a really good job. They had good chemistry. I liked their like fighting, but like not fighting.
Yeah.
And, I mean, apparently they are like super into kissing and stuff.
Yes. Well, I mean, in a way,
which is why Rachel likes it, because Rachel likes them kisses.
Well, it was kind of refreshing. Like they get an actual kiss in the first 20 minutes. I'm like, this is great. And you don't have to have all these almost kisses to like your last 10 minutes of the movie like you do now. So yeah, but I was surprised because I had forgotten that they make family. I had forgotten about that. And of course that causes like all this conflict because now they're like really in a relationship and they have to tell both of their clients that this is happening. And I don't know. Did you like the Barry Bostwick and Donna Mills at all? Did you?
It was just fine for me. It was, I mean, I don't feel like they did exactly what their characters were supposed to do, but they didn't wow me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel like I just knew they weren't going to actually get divorced, and I knew that they were just being stupid. And I hate when people are just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine though, like if your husband is now retired and all of a sudden he's like hanging around all the time and just starting to really grate on you, get on your nerves. And yeah, I get it. The ending was probably predictable, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was actually kind of sweet. And between the two of them and that I could buy that kind of not misunderstanding, but I could buy that happening that like I said, all of a sudden there's this new dynamic. He's there all the time and it being challenging. So it wasn't a problem for me. I thought it was kind of sweet, but yeah, it is predictable. It's a very predictable movie.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me. I would like them to, I think it's been a long enough time that I think they could brush off this concept again and do something kind of like this again. I think that would be a lot of fun in a new movie.
I mean, they're going to get around to it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 11 years. I think they'd be perfectly safe in doing another version of a lawyer kind of, lawyers spar off kind of movie, and it would be pretty fun. So anyway, yeah, I give it for me, I give it like 4 crowns. I really like it. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this 3 1/4 crowns.
Oh. So you like this better than 3 Weeks to Your Kids?
Yeah, well, I felt like the kids were just being irritating. I know, and you're like, they're children, be nice to them, and I don't have to.
That surprises me. I would not have guessed that. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But I felt like their chemistry was way better than the, I don't know, handyman relationship they had in that other one.
Yeah, that's fair. That is true. I agree with you there about the chemistry. Okay, so let's talk about Goodnight for Justice. This is your last pick.
Yes, and full disclosure, I had not seen this movie when I picked it, but I was confident that a movie starring Luke Perry, directed by Jason Priestley, and written by the Dabrowskis was going to be worth it.
And was it?
Yeah. So full disclosure, I actually super love Western things, which I don't really like, I don't know, old Western movies, but I like Western movies that are made now.
Okay.
I don't know
some that you like?
What are some that I like? Well, mostly books, though.
Oh, okay.
Give me a good old-fashioned mail-order bride book. Anyway, but so I was just pretty excited about it. And I also thought it was really funny because I felt like in Love in Paradise, which I really enjoy, it was basically Luke Perry playing himself being this character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted them to have named the movie series in Love in Paradise Good Night for Justice. I don't think they did, but they should have.
Yeah, they should have. That would have been a nice like Easter egg to do. But yeah, so there were like 4 or 5 of these, and Westerns are not my favorite. They can be a little boring for me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But they're, I don't hate them or anything. And this was fine. I enjoyed it. It had some boring parts, but it was. I liked seeing this guy who is kind of an outlaw, but yet he's the judge at the same time. I felt like was sort of his personality, and that was fun to see, and how he would trick the various kind of the various men in town. I think it was Mr. Hewitt. I think was one of the guys' names. Anyway, that sort of not trick but outsmart them in the courtroom was really good, and his sort of relationship with this woman, I thought was pretty classic Western.
Yeah, and I saw a lot more of Luke Perry than I thought I would in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. And that was good for you.
I don't know. I don't really like seeing a lot of people, frankly. Like, that was a little shocking for me. But aside from that, I mean, I'm not saying like I saw like all of Luke Perry, but I was just like, that's actually quite a lot of Luke Perry. I'm a little surprised this is on TV on the Hallmark Channel. Anyway, I was like, we're not watching the CW. But anyway, I love the fact that his name is Goodnight. It's just so funny to me that they named him Goodnight.
John Goodnight.
It's the best cowboy name.
I mean, it actually can be a little bit violent too, at least. And but he has like a swagger. He's sort of, he's trying to kind of channel Clint Eastwood and all of that. And obviously it's not on that level, but like, I don't know. It was entertaining. It's still not like my favorite genre, but I liked it. Particularly the courtroom scenes were my favorite. I thought those were really fun when he was outsmarting these various people in his rulings and his other things. So
yeah, he carries the whole show on his back, because the show itself is pretty good, and there are a couple of funny lines.
Probably trying to channel Butch Cassidy, Sinette's kid. They just had a lot of sort of classic themes to it. And so, yeah, I mean, did you watch any of the others or just this one?
I started watching the other one, and then I said, you know what? I need to watch Rachel's movies.
Oh, dear.
Let's try to figure this out. But this movie really is all about Luke Perry. And if you like Luke Perry, you will probably like this movie. If you love Luke Perry, you'll love it. If you're meh on Luke Perry, he might win you over.
How many crowns do you give this?
So I will probably give this 3.5 crowns.
Yeah. Same with me. I'm right at the same spot as you. 3.5 crowns. But it's not a bad watch. Give it a shot.
Yeah, if you're in the mood for just kind of like a classic, sort of a melodrama, a Western melodrama, this is great.
So how would you rank all 4 of these then?
Loving Leah, I think, is the best one. Which isn't really fair because it is a Hallmark Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And then I would probably say Good Night for Justice, because it really tickles me in my Western Luke Perry bone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Love is a 4-letter word, and then 3 Weeks, 3 Kids.
Okay. So for me, I would say Loving Leah, and then 3 Weeks, 3 Kids, and then Love is a 4-letter word, and then Good Night for Justice. But they're all fun, so
yeah,
for me. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, this was a fun little exercise to try to do. Let us know what you think of this for these sort of off weeks, and if you have suggestions for movies that you'd like us to like us to check out, then and review, then let us know in the comments section or on Twitter. Any of these, let us know what you think. We'd really be curious, and so make sure you're following us on social media at Hallmarkies Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We try to post every single day and live tweet. And this weekend, we have 2 Hallmark movies coming up to look forward to. We have the Love Once and Always with Peter Porte. And we're pretty excited about that. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I was talking to some random guy at work about it today. He doesn't even know like who Peter Porte is. He's never seen Center Stage. I don't even know if he has the Hallmark Channel. Yeah. And I was just saying, it's going to be so great. Peter Porte is in it, and
I think her name is Amanda Schul, I think is her name.
Yeah, Amanda Schul, but
yeah.
I said, the girl from Center Stage.
Yeah.
He doesn't know, but I was, come on, relate to me. And he didn't get it, but.
The movie that we have this weekend is a new Fixer Upper movie, and that's on Sunday. And we have on Hallmark, that's Hallmark Movies Mysteries. And we have, of course, another episode of When Calls the Heart and Meet the Pete's on Sunday on the regular Hallmark channel. So lots of stuff going on with Hallmark. And we are going to next week for the podcast, we're going to be talking about all 4 of the sleuther of the detective movies that have come out so far. We've had The Morning Mist Show Mysteries, Aurora Teagarden, Emma Fielding, and now Fixer Uppers. We've had 4.
Yeah, and you guys, you really let me down, my Twitter peeps, because Rachel posted a poll because she didn't want to watch the other 2 Fixer Upper movies. And I thought, it would make perfect sense for us to just do the Fixer Upper catalog for our review. And Rachel said, no, let's review all the other ones. And it's a life ruiner. And thanks for supporting me, you guys.
Yay! Thanks for supporting me. No, I'm excited. I think it's going to be, because I don't like these detective movies very much, but I think it's going to be really cool to kind of compare all 4 of the various franchises together and see which one we like the best.
Okay.
So anyway,
Rachel,
that's what?
This is what we're going to do. At 20 minutes into the movie, you are going to write on a sealed envelope who you think the murderer is.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And I'm going to write on mine. Okay. And when I say the person I think is the most handsome, understand that that's the murderer.
Okay.
Because it's always the person that I have a crush on.
Yeah, that's true. They make you think it's the caterer, but no, it's not. Okay, so that's what we're doing next week. So look forward to that. On Thursday, we have our review of When Calls the Heart, the last episode with Ruth Hill. And so that's a lot of fun. You guys will want to check that out. Listen to our interview with Andrea Brooks. That was so much fun. We had a great time talking with her. So make sure you check that out if you haven't. So lots of good stuff going on with us. And Amber, where can people find you?
So as always, people can find me. I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
Yeah, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and YouTube. And I will be posting my yearly Did the Right One Win, where I look at the animated Oscar category. And that is why I needed my movie watching load to be lessened this week. So we'll be posting that sometime next week. And so look forward to it, and make sure you're subscribed to my content. And thanks so much. And it was fun talking about these 4 movies, I think.
I agree.
And we'll do it again soon. Bye.
Bye.